Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to look back at 2018 because it's been a pretty crazy year in the world of The Walking Dead. You know, from Carl dying to Rick getting sent off in a helicopter to Andrew Lincoln getting a movie deal to, Nick and Madison dying, Morgan's crossover, The Whispers, Jesus dying. So many stuff happened. Hopefully you're caught up with The Walking Dead because I literally just spoiled everything the past year. So I'm sorry. But in today's video, we're going to look back and talk about the 8 best episodes of 2018. Again, these are going to be my personal opinions. You might not agree with me, but be sure to leave your 8 episodes in the comments down below. But this is going to include The Walking Dead Season 8B, Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, and then The Walking Dead Season 9A. Before I do begin though, I quickly want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody watching this channel. Thank you guys for all the support also. You know, it's been such a great year. I started this channel at the end of 2017 and here we are at the end of 2018, and I'm just so grateful for all the support and everybody who enjoys watching this channel, so thank you. But with that being said, let's get started with number 8, and that is What's Your Story? Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 Episode 1. Now, Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 as a whole, especially the back 8, it was pretty disappointing, and I hate to say that, but it is true. But I really enjoyed this first episode. First of all, the Season 4 premiere was immediately after the Season 8 finale of The Walking Dead. It was an epic night for Walking Dead fans. We got The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead and The Talking Dead. It was a great night. But also, this was the episode, Morgan's crossover. So we saw him going from All Out War to Fear the Walking Dead, and we kind of saw that journey. I really like the way this episode was structured. Like, we got even mini crossovers from like Rick, Jesus, and Carol, and then we got the introduction of John, who I really like John. I think he's gonna be a fan favorite as the years go on. He's already kind of a fan favorite on Fear. And then we also got Al's introduction, who's a very interesting character. And then the action in this episode was also really great. You know, we had John and Morgan and Al teaming up, and they just kicked ass. And then the end of the episode was also a really good kind of like a cliffhanger when we had Nick and Alicia and their group coming in the middle of that road, and they were all like covered in dirt and what was it, like mud and stuff. I just really love that ending because I was like, what the hell happened since, you know, the dam exploded. So the way this episode was structured is really good, and I think it deserves a spot in the top 8 of 2018 because it was a really good episode. Definitely the best of Fear in my opinion, and it was a shame that the rest of Fear wasn't as good. But number 8 goes to What's Your Story? In the number 7 spot, I have The Walking Dead Season 9 Episode 6, Who Are You Now? Which was the episode right after Rick's final episode. Now, I really like this episode because it was kind of like another new beginning since we already got one in The Walking Dead Season 9. And this episode picked up 6 years after Rick's episode, and I loved everything about it. I loved the new characters. I thought their introduction was great. Well, that was in episode 5, but we got to know them more in episode 6. I thought that whole trial was really well done. I love that trial thing. And then also, I still can't believe how we got this older Judith, and the actress is so great, and I'm really happy they did the 6-year time jump because older Judith, I think, has added a lot to the show, especially since the actress is great. And then also, this episode was very mysterious because we were learning about what happened during the 6-year time jump with the X-Scar. And then also we got a little bit of the whispers at the end of the episode, you know, with Eugene and Rosita. So everything about this episode I really like, so I definitely believe it deserves the number 7 spot. Number 6 goes to The Key, which was The Walking Dead Season 8 Episode 12. I love this episode so much. It's definitely one of my favorites of Episode 12, and there's not much needed explaining to go into this episode, so this is going to be very brief. But that battle we had with Rick and Negan inside of that building, with Rick having, the burnt Lucille, that was so epic. We had that car chase, which was amazing. This episode was really well done. We also got our introduction to Georgie, which is going to be a character that's going to be very important moving forward. And then also the Dwight and Simon stuff were very interesting. Everything about this episode was great. It's definitely one of my favorites of Season 8, and it definitely deserves this spot. Here we are in the top 5. So for number 5, I have The Obliged, which was The Walking Dead Season 9 Episode 4. Again, there's not much needed explaining to go into why I think this episode is one of the best. For me, I love the character moments in this. That's what made this one of the best for me. You know, that Rick and Carol moment, which was the final, conversation between them, which I love. loved. Very emotional stuff. And then that Maggie and Michonne moment, that powerful Negan and Maggie moment, which I think was one of the best. And that was the first time those two characters talk like that, and it was, I think, one of the best scenes in season 9. And in that amazing Rick and Daryl moment. Definitely one of my favorite Rick and Daryl moments. I mean, definitely the favorite since the season 4 finales when Rick said, "You're my brother." So everything about that scene I loved, and it was, their final conversation also. So this moment was very emotional and very touching, so it definitely deserves a spot at number 5. For number 4, I have A New Beginning, which was the season 9 premiere. I love this episode a lot. It was everything I wanted The New Beginning to be. Within the first 5 minutes, we were already in Washington and back to the old school Walking Dead, with the group on the road, scavenging, and I just loved it. It was such a drastic change from the previous 2 seasons. It just made it feel like some old school Walking Dead. There was a lot of great character moments. It was also very packed. A lot of stuff went down. And I think they did a great job of bringing the New Beginning idea to life because, like I said, this is everything I wanted the New Beginning episode to be. And this was like an episode, a very iconic episode that we've been waiting for a while. So I thought they did a great job with it. And it comes in at number 4. For number 3, I have Evolution, which was the latest episode we've had on The Walking Dead, the mid-season finale for season 9. Now, I think this episode is one of the best directed episodes in The Walking Dead ever. I think Michael Sadler-Zemas did a great job with the episode. It had a lot of tension and a lot of build-up, and it was just, that ending at the graveyard with the whispers and, that one whisper ducking and stabbing Jesus. I think it could not have been more perfect in that. I thought they really knocked that out of the park. It was just a very creepy vibe to it, and it definitely felt like a horror movie. And I think it's safe to say that this is definitely the scariest episode ever in The Walking Dead, and that's what The Walking Dead is supposed to be, scary. It's supposed to be a horror show. And I think this episode nailed it, and this is what The Walking Dead is supposed to be. And it really sucks that we lost Jesus, but he went out as a hero, he went out as a badass. That final, him killing all those walkers at the end, I wish we got more of that throughout the years, but that was really well done. And that whisper kill was so smooth that I'm okay with it. And I think this might be one of the best mid-season finales ever, I think, in the history of The Walking Dead. I'm trying to think of mid-season finales right now, and this is definitely up there. It might even be one of the best cliffhangers ever. This episode was really well done, and that ending when we started hearing all the whispers, that's what I mean by great directing. I thought they did a great job with this episode, so well done, and it comes in at number 3. Now for number 2, I have Wrath, which was the season 8 finale. Now, I've been waiting for this episode for so long because of that Negan story. It was so damn long, and this episode was definitely one of my most anticipated episodes ever, like in the entire Walking Dead. Maybe the season 7 premiere beats it because I was wondering who Negan killed. But other than that, I've been waiting for this episode for so long because the Saviors, even in season 9, the Saviors are still a problem. Like for 2.5 years, these Saviors have been just a pain in our asses. Negan was in charge for way too long. He was being a dick, being annoying. And I thought Negan was great, but I'm saying, like, I got tired of him beating down on our characters. And we all knew this moment was coming when Rick was going to slash Negan's throat. It was just a matter of when. And this episode was when it finally happened. And it just felt so great to see it happen. And that final standoff when the bullets started exploding and, everybody started beating up Negan, and the Saviors finally went down. We've been waiting for that moment for over 2 years. This episode meant so much to me. It might not be the best episode. I don't even think it is the best episode, but it's a special episode to me, and it's one of my personal favorites ever. I love it so much. And then that final Rick and Negan standoff was great. And let's not even talk about Rick's speech because I'm going to start crying. No, but seriously, this was also Rick's final speech. He didn't give a speech like this, and he probably won't give a speech like this ever, unless he does it in his movies or somehow if he comes back to the show maybe. But this essentially was Rick's final speech, and it was one of my favorite speeches. And this episode, like I keep saying, it was one of my most anticipated episodes ever, and it deserves the number 2 spot. Now, I'm sure everybody knows what's coming in at number 1. That's pretty obvious. Yes, you're right. Fear the Walk. No, I'm just joking. The Walking Dead, Season 9, Episode 5, What Comes After, which was Rick's final episode. Now, this episode was not just Rick's final episode. It was literally a culmination of everything we've experienced, as fans of The Walking Dead. Right from episode 1, with him rolling up to Atlanta. We saw Shane again. We saw Sasha again. We saw Herschel again. so many great moments, and Rick went out as a badass. And this episode was so emotional. I thought this episode again was one of the best directed episodes ever in The Walking Dead. This season 9, man, was such a great episode. I think Greg Nicotero did a great job with this, and I'm happy that this episode turned out the way it did. It wasn't just a final farewell to Rick, because we all know what happened at the end, but it was, you know, kind of looking back at what we've experienced, you know, following Rick since day one. And I couldn't be more happy with this episode. And for a second there, I really thought Rick was gonna die. And I thought he did die when that bridge exploded. I really did. And, you know, a character like Rick, I can never imagine dying. You know, even all those videos we were talking about, the Rick Grimes news that broke out in May, I was like, there is no way this character is gonna die. And that helicopter theory was the most popular theory. And as much as I was pushing that theory, I was like, I don't know if this is really gonna happen. Is a helicopter really gonna save Rick in The Walking Dead? In a zombie apocalypse, is a helicopter gonna save Rick? And it did, and I just could not believe it. You know, words can't explain that. I could not believe that the helicopter really saved Rick, and I was so happy about it. And then also, when he woke up in the helicopter, Space Junk was playing, which was just, you know, a cherry on top of all that, because it was the same song from the pilot. And this is definitely, I think, not only the best episode of 2018 in my opinion, I think this might be the best episode in the history of The Walking Dead. Well, there you have it, folks. Those are my top 8 episodes of The Walking Dead 2018. I'd love to hear from you guys though, so in the comments down below, you leave your top 8 and I can't wait to read them. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, rating, and subscribe for more Walking Dead content like this. And once again, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody watching. Hopefully you guys have a great, you know, rest of the year and a great New Year's. Can't wait for The Walking Dead 2019 to return. Very excited for that. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.